Stream. That's rolling. I have to hit enter to make sure that everybody can see us at home. I have to widen Jackson's screen so everybody can see his hipster cool look that he's got going, which is good. I'm not saying anything bad about that. And I have to hit Paul Main's favorite pre-show. Well, hey there. The Packfiller podcast is about to begin. You can always follow the show through Instagram, Twitter, and even Facebook if you're still into that sort of thing. The show is streamed live every Tuesday at 6 o'clock Pacific on our Packfiller Productions YouTube channel, as well as on the Podbean app. You can call the show directly from Podbean and chat along in the discussion on both platforms. Now let's get to the Packfiller podcast. You know what? It's so stupid that I love it.
That's why you hang out with us.
You know that when I wrote it, I knew it was going to be bad. I mean, I didn't intend for any of this to be anything of like good.
Well, you hit it.
Thanks, man. Thanks. Oh, okay, I need to have a sip before I do this. Jackson, that's a Dr. Pepper. I saw that. Hey everybody, from 50 degrees to 20, from a full house to an empty nest, oh, what a week can do. It is Tuesday, it is 6 o'clock Pacific, the beer is poured, well, two of them. The stream is on Podbean, and we are also on YouTube. You know how weird it is regularly using a term stream? If I was in grade school again, I would... Exactly. It's time to talk bikes, and it's time to talk the Packfiller. You guys, before I even get into this show in any depth, realm, or importance, I need to mention that the membership is underway. I want to welcome to the new members of the Pack. We are 1 week into our membership. I don't want to call it a membership drive because then people are going to suddenly associate it with some sort of a, NPR, push like that. And if you know what I'm talking about, fuck, you're old. But welcome to the new members of the Pack. You guys are pioneers. You'll be able to say that you were there when it was cool and before all those guys sold out. You'll be that group. If you want in, check out our website, packfiller.com. Choose a membership plan that fits you, your budget, and your desire for free shit. First membership packages are going out March 1st. And I did some thinking about that, and I know you guys are all going like, I'm going to get one big, huge, happy box from Packfiller. Then I'm going to cancel my membership. Because you're going to pay like $1 for like $300 worth of stuff. I figured you out, fuckers. So what we're going to do is first package is going out March 1st, and that is going to be the casquettes, the stickers, and the gooders. And when I mean the gooders, I mean I'm not fucking around. I mean the gooders. Gooder sunglasses have been cool enough to come on, and for our first 50 members, hurry up, people, because those slots are filling up. And those all get free pair of Gooder sunglasses. And all my other members also, you also receive regular swag boxes, free or reduced entry at events, discounts to great companies like Mojo Cyclery, like Gooder. I'm working on a couple more that I really can't mention yet because they don't want me to say anything yet. Exclusive social media access, entry to regular show drawings, and I want to say that again. If you are listening to this podcast live, or if you're listening to this on your iPod at some point in time, know that we're going to be doing regular show drawings, and the people who are members of the Packfiller are eligible for those. Remember the prizes we give out at our events, sometimes $200-$300 pair of cycling shoes, things like that. Hey, if you're a Packfiller member, you're going to be up for those. So, and more to come. So join Club Packfiller. All the cool kids are doing it. So speaking of empty nests, let's meet our friends for the night. Mr. I'm not super tucking, I'm just naturally arrow, Paul Main. How are you, man?
Doing fine.
I got a thing going here. Hold on. Next in this online in Portland, Oregon, is Mr. I'm not super tucking, I'm just skinny, Jackson Bulger.
Hello, thank you for the great intro.
And me? Mr. I'm not super tucking. Shit just rolls downhill. I'm Pat Bulger. I wrote these. I want to hold this up to the camera. I wrote these notes today in the hospital with my mother today. She's okay, by the way. She just had a leg surgery kind of thing, and I had to hand write my notes. It was old school, and I got ink all over my left hand because if you're a left-hander, you know what I'm doing. And so there we go. So there was my pain for the day. That was my first world pain, a problem. I had to actually write handwritten notes out today. Gentlemen, let's start where we always do, shall we? Who's writing? I should get like an intro for that one, just like, hey.
No.
Who's writing? Jackson, I'm going to start with you, man. Are you writing, and if so, how much and how often? I hate when people use T in often.
I am writing as much as I can at the moment. I'm in my now 3rd week of school. Teachers are cracking down. Christ. I've been having to read. I know, I've been having to read like 70, 80 pages a night, so that's been a whole hell of a lot of fun. But, Zwift has been my friend. I am also one of the visually impaired who needs some sort of corrective lens, so I just ran out of contacts, so I can't really go outside.
Oh, they're in, by the way. I got that email from your eye doctor here. They're here.
Oh, cool.
They're 300 miles away from you, but they're here.
Well, hopefully they become here.
Yeah, I was talking to your mother. Who I can pull back the curtain here a little bit, and this has nothing to do with cycling, but I can pull back the curtain here a little bit. And your mother, who works from home now, since COVID and stuff like that, and I told her, "Oh, Jackson's contact lenses are in," and she said, "Oh, you should go get them." I just want everybody to know that I'm the only one who apparently steps outside of the house anymore. So you have, but have you gotten any outdoor miles?
Unfortunately, because of the whole contact issue, I don't want to risk low light, and I don't see a little bit of water, and I just wash out. So I'd rather not take my chances. So at the moment, I'm just sticking inside for a little while until I am able to ride with my contacts.
You need to go out and ride with Aunt Mariah from last week and show her how the Packfiller rides, and then because you're the only one who she won't drop.
No, that'd be cool. That hopefully maybe would be on the horizon. So yeah, that's been my riding agenda at the moment.
Paul Main, how's your bike riding been done? I know of one ride that you went on.
Yeah, I went outside with you on Saturday.
Yes.
Doing the little rollers in between and stairs. So, yeah.
Yeah. You did.
But, yeah.
You're still. How often have you done those stairs?
I do them about once a week.
No shit?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I haven't done them this week yet, but, yeah, I'll be hitting them here soon.
Wow, I think I've done them like twice total.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit. Okay, that's why. That's it. Yeah. That's the secret, everybody. That's Paul's secret. That's why he gets so strong.
Come to Spokane to do the Perry Stairs.
The Perry Stairs. We finally got the weather, and this was last week. We finally got the weather, and I didn't get outside anywhere as close to as much as I wanted. But that 3-hour Saturday ride we did felt really good. It felt good to get out. It felt good to finally do some outside miles. And again, as I said in the most recent Coffee and Comments video, it's you can ride inside until your balls fall off. It's not the same.
No.
I said it. It's not the same. It's not the same workout. It's not the same enlightenment experience. It's just not. And it was just the two of us, but even if I was by myself, I would have come back as if I had achieved some sort of a sacramental experience.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good thing.
I enjoyed it. How are the legs and the lungs, everybody? I mean, normally at this time of year, we all start to kind of assess, okay, if this was normal time of year, we'd be thinking about the fact that bike races are 4 or 5 weeks away. Now, we're probably not thinking that, but yeah, Jackson's shaking his finger. But are we, if we did have a bike race 4 or 5 weeks away, where would we be, fitness-wise? Paul?
In the shitter. I'm ways off. I'm way off. Well, and I looked up on our WSBA calendar, and I mentioned to you about the TTs that somebody put in on. I haven't figured out who in late April, and that lit a fire under my ass, thinking, oh, well, geez,
Yeah.
as opposed to that holding and waiting. It's just so
Everything it seems it looks like is in September now.
Yeah,
That's
other than
a
that,
mass
local, TTs can happen, and that's what on the west side they're doing. Jack, when he was here, he's talking to a promoter that's how they're going to approach. If you look on the calendar too, they're having, that's the only way you can do that distancing. But
exactly, yeah.
If things work out, if I think a lot of guys are scheduling TTs, and hopefully this is the plan of those people doing the local series, whoever they are, that because it's on the closed course that we have.
Don't go too in depth into this because this is a
part
topic
of the deal.
that's coming up shortly. But
But
anyway,
they could if we go into phase 3 or something and allows more than 30 riders or whatever, they could turn it into race.
So you've got a course already.
Yep.
You just launch it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that was their thinking, but I'm guessing.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Jackson, do you have a basis for where you would be this time last year and where you need to be this year and things like that?
Well, I will say I'm a whole hell of a lot fitter than I was last year at this time.
Really?
Yeah, I think, and we were just talking about it, which I completely agree with. I think riding indoors you can never replicate the outdoors, which I don't think is its goal. But anyways, that's a whole nother conversation. I think that has evolved my fitness this year, and I am more at this point maintaining. So if I were to have to race in 4 weeks, I'd probably be fine. I don't think I'd be. I don't know if I'd be winning anything, but But I think I'm right where I need to be for the moment or for the time that I'm in, and for the schedule that I know about. For me personally, at least.
I paused because I'm trying to. I don't think of the answer to my own questions. I really don't. I just write this shit. And
well,
I
then you're in the
mark.
same boat as we are because we don't know what you're going to ask us.
Yeah.
So now it's back on you.
So I'm just like, I'm interviewing myself.
Yeah,
and
that's
I have
right.
no idea what's coming. God damn it. I'm going to stay in my trailer until I know what the questions are. Wow. It's such a weird year because I'm trying so hard to play this catch up that has been such an element of the last decade. I know that sounds weird, but you get older, you let things slide, and you get older, and it's harder to get back. And this whole weight loss thing has been a big effort, and it's coming off just a little bit at a time, and I'm an American. I want fast results. I want immediate satisfaction, and I want it yesterday, and it pisses me off. So things are slowly getting better. We went out on that ride on Saturday, and you put the hammer down. I don't know if you did it intentionally or anything like that. Well, you probably did,
Where?
you fucker. The bottom of that long descent after the
By the Grange Hall.
Yeah.
No, I mean I always like tapping out a rhythm.
I think it was there on the way out. We had to go up that long climb instead of the snow, and then we went down the descent, and then before we had to turn to go out to 4 Mounds, the big loop there.
Gotcha.
And you just kind of kept the tempo going after this downhill, and I was going, okay, here we go, stay on it, and you were probably just like, hey, I'm having a great day. Kermit the Frog here. And I'm just going, fucking stay on his wheel, don't drop, and so, but those are the moments where I'm going, okay, this is what you're training for. I'm not training to be your lapdog, but I'm training to be able to hold on to those efforts, and I want faster results. I don't know where I'm getting at this, but I'm tired and my brain hurts, but I want results, and I want them now. There, fuckers. Just give me results. Just give me the EPO and shoot me in. So and this is for you guys out there listening. If you guys are on Podbean right now, tuning in, let me know or something like that. I know Paul's going to run screaming from the room before I even get to the point where I'm going to say anything about this one. Whoa, that was hot. But if anybody's up for some more Zwift challenges this spring, he's gone. That's it. He just left. If anybody's up for some more Zwift challenges this year, let me know, because I'd be more than happy to put them together, especially now that we're getting the subscribers and people are on our Facebook and social media channels and stuff like that you guys are kind of commenting more often. Let me know on that group. Let me know if you're up for more, either a one-off or a multi-day thing. We did the multi-day. It takes a lot of commitment from people. So if there's a one-off thing, let me know. If you want to do I don't know. What would we do? 50-mile challenge, indoor beer mile.
There you go.
That kind of thing.
Yeah, so, promote weight loss.
Yeah, exactly. No, I want everybody else to get fatter. Do you guys have any new challenges or events that are on the radar that anything has popped in? Paul, you were saying about the time trial series.
Yeah, the time trial series. It's in our backyard. Why not? It would be nice if it, we're going to different phases and we can race.
Yeah.
Vance Creek over on the other side. 30 people max, and their way they're figuring they'll be at a certain phase. So
that's a mass start or a
mass
TT?
Start. 30 people max
Wow.
at phase 2, or I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
They have the and if you go to 5311, that's the promotional people there, and they have the breakdown of their COVID protocol and stuff. So if they can do it, I think we could do it over here too.
Yeah. Shit, yeah.
So all that, anytime I look at that gets the juices flowing.
Yeah.
And last year was a drag. You just keep hoping and you just see things disappear.
This time of year last year, we it hadn't really hit us.
No,
yet.
it hadn't.
Had it, but
Nope.
But I remember March where it was just you just saw stuff getting pushed and pushed and pushed. Jackson, is there any? Have you? I know you're swamped though. Have you ever stopped and looked at the calendar where you are or anything like that? Especially because you're there this summer.
What was that?
Especially because you're there this summer.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I haven't had too big of a chance to yet. I think the races that will come in the September to mid to late August type of thing are what I'd really look to target more or less.
Okay.
I think it'd be kind of cool to find something that's of my alternative mindset in and around where I am. But other than that, we'll see what I can do. I don't know if I have any specific targets at the time, but right now. But yeah, if there's a race around the time that I just mentioned, I'd love to be there.
Well, it's one in our backyard, River City Omnia.
Yeah,
it's in August.
That would be perfect. That'd be really cool. I'd love for that one.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That's me knocking on the bar.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's a second or third weekend in August.
And I will not knock on that bar for any tour predictions or any bike race winners, stuff like that. This is a real one. I mean this. When I knock on the bar, that's good luck. Because God, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still so up in the air. It hasn't hurt my motivation, which is unusual, because usually at this time of year, it's like if I don't have something on the horizon on the calendar, I'm not training for it. But I will have to find something. Let's be honest. We got to find something here. Oh, please, God, let us find something. You guys, let's get to the news, because we have a shit ton of news. This was a busy week. First of all, I guess even before I hit the theme, I should just basically say that, Jackson, about Peter Sagan and having COVID, right?
I do.
How come that's not a big issue anymore? Are we getting dumbed down to people having COVID where it's like, he'll be fine in 2 weeks. He's good.
Yeah, my cousin Vinny, he had it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Are we getting to that point where it's like, fuck it, another guy has COVID, fuck, no big deal?
I mean, something that I've been noticing, especially as I've been paying attention to soccer players getting it as well. So Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who plays for AC Milan, he caught it, but it was very relatively under the radar about a lot of things, just because, because they are athletes, they are in that demographic in which they will be able to battle it better than
very strong chance. Yeah.
A person like Peter Sagan is going to be able to combat this better than an 84-year-old man with breathing difficulties. So I think that's why there's not a lot about it. And the same guy I just mentioned before, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, said he always calls himself the Lion. And
what was that? Sorry, he calls himself the Lion.
He calls himself the Lion, and he feels like he kind of like acts like he's this above humanity type of person. But he said that this is something that he has had to like genuinely face before, which he never says that against anything else. So I think that while yes, these athletes are in a better demographic, I think that they are also taking it very seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, speaking of people taking things a little bit seriously, because you know what I'm saying. You guys know what I'm going to talk about here when people taking things seriously. There's some shit that went down this week, and I didn't mean to make Peter Sagan getting COVID as a second story, but it is this week because of all the absolute lunacy that's going on. Welcome to the draconian measures. After banning the so-called super tuck position, the UCI is likely to anger riders in the professional peloton even further with a series of other new rules and punishments, including banning of the... Paul, you're the only one I know in my close circle who does it regularly because you can do it physically and I can't. The forearms on bars aerodynamic position. I wish we would have come up with a better name for it, but commonly used in breakaways. In an update to the UCI rules, the sport's governing body also confirmed that riders could be fined, docked, ranking points, and penalized times if they throw objects such as beatings and waste in a careless or dangerous manner outside of new litter zones. Cool. Awesome. In stage races, a first infringement, throwing waste can be punished. Anyway, yada yada yada. Okay, I'm cool with that. But I do want to get to the point that number one, the fact that the new rule comes out on April 1st.
It's a joke.
So they fucking with us? Are they fucking with us?
Yeah.
And I do want to I do want to just kind of take this and I want to pick it apart. Let's start with the super tuck. And correct me if I'm wrong, the first time I truly saw it put into account was Chris Froome in the Tour, where he was pedaling while in that position. Am I wrong by assuming that?
There was American riders did it.
Yeah.
Younger guy in one of the races here, like 2 years before. Sagan in the Worlds did it in his breakaway when he won the Worlds at Richmond. But, of course, the famous one is everybody watches the Tour, and it was Froome. And he won the Tour based off of that stage, too, so that probably accelerated that position. So
did Sagan do it pedaling?
Yeah.
It was
I think he even clipped out and used one foot and then, ducked underneath his top tube, did a handstand, bunny hopped a car. Yeah, he did it all. Yeah. That guy can handle a bike.
So let's talk about the super tuck being banned, and we got it. We understand we're taking this as an inverse pyramid here, right? Okay, we're going to start with the wide of the super tuck ban, and then we're going to go all the way down to. We're going to go all the way down. What? To there. Okay. So let's start with the super tuck. The benefits of it, the agreement of it, the agree, disagree, or yeah, but. Where do you guys fall on that spectrum? Jackson, you want to go first?
Sure. I think that it's a big topic, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I agree with what a lot of riders are saying right now in that there hasn't been any accidents as of yet because of this super tuck thing. Same with the other band positions. We'll get onto that, but. I get where the riders are coming from and how the UCI never talked to them about these changes, and I get where the riders are coming from and saying that this should have had a longer process, should have been talked. The riders should have been spoken to, and I think that is not the best way of dealing with it. I think the riders should have had some sort of input on it in the teams. Where I do agree with it and I do understand it is there are people who are going to try it out there that shouldn't be trying it. There are going to be younger people who haven't handled a bike very much, or there are going to be people in a pack race who aren't professionals flying down a hill at 40, 50 miles an hour, and they don't have the strength to get back up. Then that's where I think where it crosses a line a little bit, because ultimately we are a sport where we are looking at the pros and we want to be like them in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that it probably is it could be blown out of proportion from where we're seeing it, but I get both sides is really ultimately what I'm saying, because I don't want little Joey going out there and getting in a super tuck and getting a concussion so bad that he has to be out of school for the entire year.
Yeah, or eat through a straw for the rest of his days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want something
Sorry, that
like
was a joke. For those of you who are going to get angry with me, that was a fucking joke. Okay.
But genuinely, though, we don't want to see that type of thing.
Yeah.
Out in the world, we don't want an injury to be caused from a position like this.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Did I catch you off?
No, you.
Okay.
Added a perfect bow on top of my present.
There we go. Nice. Thank you. Well, there we go. Happy birthday. Paul, what do you got?
I think it'll be interesting to see, obviously, the first comment came out is that consulting with the writers, and every writer's like, I was never asked, type of thing, that they came to this decision. Every writer says the same thing, that no one really does that super tech, in a group. Yeah. It's usually a lead guy. It's kind of an unwritten rule, So I think the writers are fine. To me, when you make a rule, I like reasons behind it, saying, as opposed to some kind of like, I talk to the writers and we find it unsafe. Therefore, what's your proof? How many people have crashed? And when it comes down to, I don't want to belittle like amateurs doing it and getting hurt. I'm not trying to do that, but the thing is there's some things that we can't stop everything just for the unfortunate ones that can't handle a bike and want to try to look like a pro. Now that position is out. What's going to stop the casual rider to use it anyway in a group ride? It's already out.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's a very good, valid excuse to put it in there. And you sent us like the positions that are okay.
I did that graphic. Yeah.
And the Pantani, if anybody doesn't know, Pantani made this one where he scoots, his belly's on his saddle and his butt's over his back wheel.
Yeah.
And now
imagine making your ass a mud guard. For those of you who can't imagine the position.
Yeah. An ass keeper.
Yeah. And use it as a brake. Yeah.
And that's it. And I've ridden on that too. I've done that position. It's way more squirrely.
Plus there's so much balance issues.
Well, if you're going down, because you think you're going downhill, the center of gravity is better.
Yeah.
Then up front, you've got all the weight on the front wheel, and that's dangerous on a downhill. You're hitting corners and stuff. The problem with the Super Tech is getting not so much into it, but getting out of it. That's the squirrely part. So if you make a bad decision in a corner, you think you can hold that, and you try and get out of it,
okay,
you're pretty fucked.
Yeah.
But you have to. At what point do we take away somebody making that decision? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's I like to be a little more raw and kind of basic. Like, the fit to survive, and that's probably a poor example or a poor choice of words. But you have to use your freaking brain. You're taking chances, and your chances going in there. So I think it's another stupid thing. There's so many other things they could be focusing on. I don't like that they talk to writers. But I heard something from
I did hear that there was a discussion. Gianni Bugno is in one of the heads. You were going to say.
Yeah, okay. Gianni Bugno and even Philippe Joubert says the writers don't get involved with the rules. They just shout when the rules are made, as opposed to, we don't think, they don't speak to them and say, hey, come to us, let us decide, or let us give our input. They just sit back. They won't interact.
It's all reaction.
And it's just they wait until the rules, and then they they pound their fist on the table.
So
And
it's all reactionary. There's no initial conversation going into it.
And to me, maybe this will launch where riders will get more involved with rules. I mean, maybe this is that, and the which I even think's more stupid is getting to that non-aero bar position. That's worse than
I guess my point is I'm trying to figure out what the issue is here. Where we've been talking about, this, yes, it is a dangerous position, and I'm just talking about the Super Tuck right now. Mm-hmm. It is a dangerous position for the average Joe. Absolutely. We have not seen major incidents where pro cyclists have been hurt or even killed by this. Mm-hmm. We have seen major incidents where barriers have caused problems. The UCI is sitting back on that one. Yet I can watch. I can go. Let's go back in a time machine. Jackson and I are sitting down watching, whatever, a movie, a TV show, something like that. And we watch somebody running around with a gun. Or we're watching, heaven forbid, the Olympics, and we're bored because we're in between events, and we're watching shooting. Okay? There's a guy on my screen with a gun shooting a rifle. He's, bang, 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 bang. Okay? Does that mean Jackson's going to go out the next day, grab a gun, and shoot somebody, and all of a sudden shooting's banned from the Olympics? I know you guys are probably saying to me, Pat, quit fucking, taking this and running with it. But my job as a responsible human being is to understand the fact that I can't fucking do that tuck. My body won't let me do that tuck. I can't keep control of my bike. I can't be in such a litigious nature because I was a stupid fuck with all my friends out on a Sunday Sunday road ride, and because I crashed, I can't sue the UCI for that because I was stupid. Mm-hmm. The same way I can't run into a nightclub and start shooting people like Keanu Reeves and expect to walk out and look cool and brush my hair back because they killed my dog. I seriously am at the point where I just am trying to get my head around the fact that, yes, I saw a pro do something. It doesn't mean I can do it.
I like your analogy of the Olympics, and it made me flash back. My little brother and I used to watch the Olympics on TV in 1976, and we saw, like, track and field. And as most people know, I grew up in the boonies. And we saw pole vaulting. Yeah. So we created our own little pole vault. Yes. And I tell you, right now, if I would have saw my son with the apparatus that we had, we had like broken sticks. Oh, we snapped sticks. We got slivers. We had nails sticking out of things. I mean, we did a pit. We would find whatever we could for a pit to land on. Yeah. I mean, that's, to me, part of growing up. I know that's going to sound like I'm antiquated, but the thing is, I learned something. Rigid, poles are not so good. Let's get something a little more flexible. I mean, there was a learning process, dude. Then it's like, that hurt too much. I'm done.
I saw Evel Knievel jump the Grand Canyon, and so I took my big wheel out into the backyard and I jumped ramps, and I fell on my face and I hurt myself. But my parents were gone, so I had to deal with it myself. So fuck, Jackson, help me, because you're younger and you're going to probably be the voice of reason here, because we're just in this mentality where it's like, fuck it, I hurt myself, it's my fault. It's not Philippe Gilbert because he can do it.
Yeah, I think, obviously the pros can do it, I heard somebody, and I sent a text about this yesterday to everyone, about something I'd recently watched, and in that video, the presenter looked straight into the camera and went, "You are not pros."
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you shouldn't be doing it. I also think, though, that there are going to be impressionable people out there. We are the three people that know that we shouldn't be attempting this. So when we go out on a day, we aren't going to try that, right?
Okay.
However, there are also people out there who go, actually, this is something I just thought about. You know when you wear something and cycling related, and somebody says you look pro, right?
Okay. I never
When
heard
is
that.
that going to stop is my only worry. When does slamming your stem, even though it hurts, you look pro, dude? That's another thing to me. When is that going to stop? When does somebody go, I'm going to get in this tuck because my friends are going to say I look pro? Unfortunately, we are a bit of a vain community in some cases. So I think that in a lot of ways we are going to want to look pro. I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm never going to go out and do the super tuck. I don't care if the pros do the super tuck, but I also, because I want to play devil's advocate on this one.
Yeah.
I get
You're doing a masterful job at that.
I just don't want where do I look pro to take it to a point where it's too far. That's my only worry. As
somebody who is, as here I am, the host of this show, and last thing I want to do is go out and tell people to hurt themselves, and then all of a sudden, everything's gone because we're in such a litigious society. But this is very similar to what I talked about in Coffee and Comments, where this cancel culture, that if you see something that isn't good, you have to immediately get rid of it. And I just don't get the mentality of the fact that we're all living, breathing human beings with a brain between our ears, and we have to be able at some point in time to take accountability for ourselves. We have to understand that we're going to do stupid shit, and you know what? I did stupid shit to myself. We've all done stupid shit to ourselves because of something we saw or something we did or a way we were influenced. And great, but that doesn't mean, Simone Biles is Simone. What's her name? The gymnast. Simone Biles. I see her flipping all over the place. I'm not going to go out in my backyard and suddenly do a backflip. Or if I try it, I'm going to hurt myself and I'm going to go to the hospital because I broke my arm like I did when I was a kid. Not because I was being a gymnast. Maybe. But that's not her fault.
No.
And this just upsets me.
Well, let's keep it in the cycling world.
Yeah.
Then here's the super tuck. I mean, things could happen. You can look pro, but you're not going to look pro when you're missing teeth and you landed on your face. You're taking that chance. But look at mountain bike downhill. Are we going to get to the point where we're going to take it? Because I tell you what, I don't think I would walk down some of those places where those guys are flying down the hill.
No.
On the rock gardens and stuff, you see those guys getting just catapulted out. But where do we draw the line? And why is it the pro peloton has found this position that is faster, maybe not extremely faster, but it is proven to be a little bit faster, taken away because if this is the UCI, what we're talking about, the reason to ban it is so that somebody from Spokane, Washington, on his second ride does a tuck down Mount Spokane.
Yeah.
Super tuck down the Mount Spokane. You can't control that, and you can't control it's. Then take away downhill mountain biking.
So pro cycling is to blame for every crash that's ever happened in the sport of cycling.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
So, speaking of the barriers, I heard that they will be correcting that issue next year. See, that's more immediate in my.
I also did hear about this year, though, how they are working to correct things as well, how they're going to be having specific people who are in charge of the barriers now, rather than it just being, let's throw up some barriers and call it good.
Can that be the sock guy? Can he get a better gig than measuring fucking socks?
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
But I think that on the barriers, that's another step. At least having somebody there, right? There's going to be some sort of regulations that this is what it needs to be, and I think that some of those will be implemented this coming season.
So, does anybody think that there is any type of let's play conspiracy theory. The entire world's playing conspiracy theories these days. Are we all going to be writing dropper posts in the near future? because now we can't necessarily get aero. Our ass has to be on the seat. So let's just drop the saddle down, and all of a sudden we're now in an aerodynamic position. Bing, boom, bang. Suddenly Shimano, SRAM, everybody makes a gigantic killing about making roadies now ride dropper posts. Am I full of shit?
Well, on our ride, we were talking about the new Shimano Gruppo that's coming out because they got a patent with the FCC or got clearance to use a certain frequency. So their new DI2 is coming out, and one of the things that I heard on another podcast, and I can't remember which one, they're saying, they're getting getting a wireless so for a dropper post. Yeah. And so I'm like, and you mentioned it on the ride. It's like, what are they going to do when they take that? Because we were talking about that rule of no super tuck. So, and then I said, well, man, Shimano's just a step away. So are they? This is a conspiracy. Is the UCI in the back pocket of manufacturers? They're saying, hey, we've got the technology. These guys want to get that low. We have this. In order to push that, we can do that. We can, with our DI2, we can, or SRAM, even their ETAP, have a dropper post that drops down, and those guys can get down there. So are they in bed with that? Because we know there hasn't been any accidents. So I'm just saying.
I think it'd be interesting. Right now they weigh a hell of a lot for what a lot of these riders are looking for.
They won't when it becomes an issue. Yeah.
I don't know if I'd ride a dropper post, though. I know there will be another position. Somebody's going to find another little way around it. There will be another super tuck, in my opinion.
On that the list, that little diagram we had.
I should have posted that.
Yeah. Well, you can do it later. They can take a look at it. And anyway, the second position that they said is okay is the down 2 position. Look at that down 2 position where his butt is on that saddle.
It's right on the tip of the saddle.
So if you have a dropper post
with your shoulders on the bars,
so if you had a dropper post, that position's still fine.
You're back in the super tuck.
Yeah, but you're
back in the super
tuck, but you dropped your post.
Yeah.
Your C post.
And let's add to that. Let's add into the issue the breakaway position, the elbows on the bars.
Spinachis are coming back.
It's a joke. It's a joke on the internet right now. But god damn it, let's bring back the Spinachis, man.
Or drop-in bars,
because it's about contact points. Where the UCI is making their issue about contact points. Your butt should be on the saddle. Your hand should be on the bars. Well, fine. If I put a little Spinachi out front, I've got my hands on the bars.
Mm-hmm. Or drop-ins.
Oh yeah, which were legal mass start for a long time. Yep. Jackson, do you know what those are? Are we
talked about them on the show before. We showed pictures.
What was the
drop-in, the Scott drop-ins where the handle?
Oh yeah, those are the worst idea I've ever seen.
Really? I thought they were cool.
Oh, that's why you have a pair.
I do. I do have a set.
They're flexy as can be.
Hey, but if they were solid, would you have ridden them?
No.
Okay. Really? Think about this. Have you seen the Canyon gravel bike?
Yeah, the double decker.
Which is that design.
Pretty damn similar.
Well, the reason for that is because of their
my
headset.
drop-ins are stupid.
Yeah, the double decker set up for position of rise because of the design of that bike.
Yeah,
it's not a deeper position. If you look at that drop, it's still at your top tube. You're up high. It's not getting a lower position. It's just the way they designed the bike.
Sorry, I will say on this whole hands, the elbows on the bars thing. This is the one that I didn't really know if I had a full understanding of. I understand like the other one because there are higher speeds involved. I think this one is a little less dangerous in my opinion. I think no matter what, like this one, like your elbows are on the bars. You don't have your hands on the bars, so you don't have as much control. But I think that this one might have been a little too much, in my opinion.
I'm questioning the timing. Why this was the issue that they chose to attack now There were no major issues. Dan Martin went on Twitter recently and was like saying, I think they're being proactive. I think it's a good idea. And then what I loved was somebody tweeted back and went, Dan, if you're being held against your will, blink 3 times. Because I was like, dude, what the fuck? I just don't necessarily.
Well, there might be a little. Don't you think there might be a little bit of truth on that? Because there's people, the announcers, and how many times do we watch the tour or whatever race, and they're in the super tuck or in that aero position, and announcers are saying, don't try this at home. Yeah, and some of them are even saying, I don't even do it. I would never do it. I'd never let I hear it all the time. So if somebody does crash and gets hurt on that, then the UCI's a joke. I think they are in a pinch a little bit because they're like, everybody doesn't think it's safe, so why are you letting them,
Yeah.
So.
First time I ever tried to wheelie on my road bike was after American Flyers when I saw Davey Summers do it. this isn't intended as a joke. I saw him doing it. I was like, fuck, I want to learn how to do that. And I did it in a parking lot, and I fell, and I scratched the shit out of my bike, and I banged my elbow, and I bled profusely for the rest of that training ride. Pat, it's your own fucking fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't get off this accountability element where there's nobody's understanding the fact that I watched a NASCAR and I'm just going to take lefts for the rest of my life at 190 miles an hour. No, I'm not going to do that because those guys do that on the track and they're professionals. Well, God damn it. This is the same issue. Am I blowing this? Am I freaking out? Or am I losing my mind here? Somebody tell me I'm not insane.
No, I don't think so. I think this does walk the line of what do we leave up to human judgment and what do we need to... But Paul, you did say it. I think, this is like one of the first times UCI being like proactive about something before it's happened because they have been criticized in the past for not taking action before something has happened, but rather taking action when something big has happened. Mm-hmm. So I commend them on that front. I think how they went about it and some of the things that they went about banning are kind of odd. But I'm happy that they did take a step before something really bad happened. Barriers, another thing, but
yeah. It's just their priorities were fucking whack. Okay, second story. We can go on with that one forever. In case you guys didn't know, Chris Froome is in the news these days, and this one, Paul's just like he's gonna have a field day with this one because it was like we were prepping for the show on our 3-hour ride on Saturday. Yeah. Chris Froome, in case you guys didn't know, he's questioned the merits of disc brakes, arguing. And I quote, "The technology is not quite where it needs to be, despite preparing to use them during the 2021 season. After spending 10 years on a rim brake Pinarello at Team Sky Ineos, Froome has switched to factor bikes and disc brakes at his new Team Israel Startup Nation. He released a video on Monday, basically going through the entire bike. He's very praiseworthy of the bike. It's a gorgeous fucking bike. Oh shit! I know very little about factor bikes, but it's a beautiful looking bike. Jackson, you're laughing because I said oh shit. Because I slipped out of the chair and I kicked it. Okay, you're laughing at that. You're laughing at my physical humor. Okay.
He weeble wobbled.
Yeah, I did weeble wobble. While speaking enthusiastically about the rest of the bike and its components, he did a little to try and disguise his distaste for the new brakes, and he said, "I'm not 100% on them yet myself. I've been using them for the last couple of months, and performance-wise, they're great. You always stop when you need to stop. In the dry and the wet, they did the job. They do what they're meant to do." And then he went on to say the downside: the constant rubbing, the potential for mechanicals, the overheating, the discs becoming a bit warped when descents longer than 5 or 10 minutes of constant braking. Jackson's completely he's laughing right now. And oh god, I just got a battle of the generations just brewing here apparently. What I want to know is, okay, let's go old guys aside. Let's try to pull Paul. Let's try to be younger right now. Jackson, try to be a little older. And let's discuss the pros and cons of this debate. Let's put this fucking rim brake versus disc brake debate as best as we can to rest. I know we're never going to until rim brakes are gone, which is a matter of time. But let's start with, what do disc brakes provide? What do they help and make so much better that you would switch to them? Jackson, you're welcome to go first, Mr. Giggle Boy.
I gotta start by saying, what the hell is he talking about by the warping? That is the one thing that was very surprising to me.
I'm looking at Paul, waiting for him to just go, "Fuck you, I'm in." Yeah.
No, I'll let him say his piece.
They do provide a better braking performance in the wet. In my opinion, they provide a better braking performance no matter what. That's how I feel, and I think that's what this debate is all about. Personal preference. I think you also have the opportunities of choosing between multiple rotor sizes. You can do a 160 and a 140, and depending on what you feel more comfortable with, you're going to have a better braking, or like a stopping ability. So if you have a bigger rotor, you're going to stop a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I think that's a really big deal. I also think, while yes, they weigh a little bit more, I also think that they are going to be the way of the future.
Yeah, I see what you did there. You used the "way" word twice. That was good.
Yeah, good.
Nice.
And I ultimately think that, while yes, there is a huge debate out there, buy whatever the hell you want. In my opinion, there are better ways of braking on discs and on rims. There's also a better way than the derailleur, if we're really getting down to it. I think in this debate's all about preference.
Okay, I think you're jumping around a little bit. You're immediately 50 years into the future. It's like, oh, I can change gears with my mind.
But what I'm saying is, like, we could figure out a better way, if we're being really honest. If we really wanted to, we could find a better way to shift. It's the only way we've really found at the moment, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so we're dealing with what we have. Paul, I want to know, let's talk about the pros right now.
There is tons of pros on that.
And I know you have the cons. I'll let you go pros and cons.
I will do with the pros at first.
Open forum.
And since he kind of hit the pros on it, I'll do my pros. He can do his cons. If he has any cons for it.
Jackson, do you have any cons for disc brakes?
I mean, they weigh more. Yes, there's going to be a difficulty with switching wheels, and if you're a pro, or if you plan on racing a shitload. What else? They are less aerodynamic.
Yep.
I will say that, depending on the frame. And I guess if we're really getting down to it, there could be a possibility of injuries in a crash.
Oh, the pizza slicer thing. Yeah.
But that's rarely happens. So
yeah, I'm not. That's not my.
No.
I don't have a beef with that. But, mainly I haven't sliced my Achilles tendon on them. But Paul Main.
So on the pro side, they're consistently brake better. I think technology on just rim surfaces. I mean, once carbon rims came into play, disc brakes really took a jump forward for road, because there was terrible brake surfaces. They've overcame that, but most people run clinchers because they're, the average guy.
Yeah.
If you ran tubulars, none of this was an issue. I mean, there was braking. You didn't have your rims blow up because you didn't have the sidewalls. You just had this build up of carbon.
Yeah.
So, without a doubt, even in foul weather, it does brake better. I think it is what we're all going to be riding. I always fight back anybody who pushes. They're trying to push something that is not right for road racing.
Just like dropper posts.
Yeah, exactly. Dropper posts or whatever.
I'm wondering how much of this is. This is my conspiracy theory. They're just making us all buy shit.
And
put on your foil hats.
Let's be honest. The Shimano, the bike frames, all those people don't make money. They lose money on pro racing.
Yeah.
It's based off of, to be realistic, it's based off of people buying the product, you and I.
Yeah.
So if the pros are racing, brand X, Pinarello sales went through the roof. I mean, they've had a great Tour de France. I mean, all the way back from Miguel Indra and then before,
Yeah.
But getting back to, there's positives. That's the whole industry is leaning that way. It works better than rim brakes in all disciplines, and bicycles, better than rim brakes. But my drawback, here's my negative to it, is when it comes to racing, a pro or amateur, the things that made cycling so unique is that you had teammates help you. They could change a wheel, and like one of my favorite Paris-Roubaix, it's Doug Shapiro gives a wheel to somebody else in Paris-Roubaix.
Dusty.
And so what happens is the pro teams are sponsored by Shimano, SRAM, Campanolo, and whatever they've invested, what wins on Sunday sells on Monday type deal, and that's just the way it is. So there's that push to do that. I agree with Froome in every aspect. I think his bike isn't set up right when he's complaining to some of the things that weren't working, like the pistons not lining up. And I've been on a ride with a friend who, coming down Mount Spokane, who his started having brake fade on his 160.
Wow.
He's 250 pounds. But for the average guy out there, like the weekend warrior,
I got to ride with that guy.
Who's that?
Whoever's 250 pounds.
On the flats, he's a beast.
I was going to say,
he's a beast.
Well, fuck him.
And he was a rower at
really?
UW. Yeah.
Oh.
So anyway, but as a these things happen. I think they're a little bit ahead of time, and I always push back when somebody's forcing it, because it really isn't ready, but it will be. I really accept the fact that we will all be on disc brakes and they'll figure it out, but it's pushed so hard that's my kickback. But we were talking on a ride.
I was going to say, I think you're being nice, because I want to get to the point where you're
on the ride, because for a selfish reason, the less than 1% of the people who race on the weekend or go and do races, and that's kind of why I'm on the show, is because I like the amateur side of racing. Yeah. And even at 58, just shits and giggles, even when I get my ass kicked in, is that a crit. I just dawned on me when we were riding, is like, why even have a free lap, because you're not going to be able to get a wheel change.
No.
And I mentioned to you, I got third in a crit, the state championship crit, when I was involved with a crash, and one of my spokes broke on my front wheel. Well, I was over. But with rim brakes, I got somebody else's front wheel in the pits, came in, was able to get third place. That's the thing.
Even if your brakes were out of alignment, you could grab the brake body and just go boop, or a little bit, or flip a little lever on your front brake and widen it out a little bit. The rotor spacing is so tight right now that the average human being, so if we're making these decisions, based on safety for the average rider, so the average weekend warrior can't do the super tuck because it's been banned. Okay, so the average weekend warrior is going to have these brakes on their bikes, but they can't get a wheel change. So if I flat in a road race, if I travel 300 miles to do a stage race, all of a sudden you're telling me that because I was in the road race, I flatted 5 miles into the first stage, I got a shitty wheel change with a rubbing brake, and I lost 38 minutes, Jackson, you're smiling and you're being coy. And I honestly think that this is a technology that we haven't reached yet. I don't think the calipers, I don't think the pads for disc brakes are wide enough yet. That you can't get enough travel in the pads to adjust for the fact that two wheels are never going to be the same. Jackson, with your disc brakes, I love my disc brakes on my mountain bike and on my gravel bike. I love them to death. But I will never change wheels on those bikes. And in road racing in particular, you are changing wheels in and out, especially in an event. I think this is going to change the weekend warriors' perspective on events. I think we're going to have to suddenly beef up on our tires. We're going to have to beef up on our tubes. Everything's going to get heavier. We're going to have to fill the things with jizz, as you call it. That's a sorry, but we're going to have to fill everything with these sealants because we're going to be too terrified of the fact that I've traveled 300 miles and now all of a sudden my race is over in 5 minutes because I ran over a tack. I'm
or a piece of glass.
Yeah, I'm tired today, so I'm cranky. So tell me I'm full of shit, Jackson. I love you, buddy.
my first thought is, I'm going to sound like Kirsten here, but
oh Jesus! Don't you dare!
Make some pots.
You should have just been running tubeless, but that's a whole other thing. I also think that there is a discussion here about technology not being ready. Okay.
I don't think it is.
What?
I don't think it is. I agree with Frumi on that.
I think that when will it be ready? You know what I mean? You have to introduce it at some point. Obviously, if you two want to run rim brakes for the rest of your life, Shimano is going to do something about that.
No, they won't.
No,
they won't. Yeah, I don't think they will.
I don't know. I think
rim brakes are going to go the way to the Dodo. I think I bought one of the last giant bikes that has rim brakes.
Yeah, no one's going to spec out, and that's all based off of manufacturer sales, retail sales. That even like 3 years ago, that if you had two models, one was rim brakes and one was disc brakes. Disc brakes outsold rim brakes before the pros even had it. The reason for that is that as a consumer, we want the new and up and coming. We don't want to renew that. That's what pursued that. So I kind of disagree, but I cut you off. So go ahead.
No, I think I get that, but my personal opinion is that if the technology isn't ready, what year will it be ready? I know we can't predict the future, but if not now, when is my only difficulty, because it's going to have to happen at some point. And I know that unfortunately my stance we will have to cope with the fact that it will come out on top. We all will be on disc brakes.
Yeah,
it's tough. However, I think that eventually at one point it's going to have to be ready, so why not now?
Because it's not ready.
I
took the chicken out of the oven early last night. And I was pissed off. I was pissed off because the chicken wasn't ready. Should I have served it to your mother and killed her? No.
Wow, what a leap.
Yeah, really.
You should spend more time in a waiting room. You're funny
I gotta go to the hospital a lot more often. Did I mention the fucker in the waiting room in front of me had a gun on his fucking belt? Come on!
Well, I think, without a doubt, I understand. I dig the beat that you're laying down there, Jackson. But the thing is my cost. I came into the sport where way back that you got a Campanolo in like 1984. You could buy under $1,000 or around $1,000 Campanolo, top of the line,
which would probably be $5,000.
Yeah, $5,000-$6,000, maybe at the most.
Yeah.
Disc brakes accelerated the cost of it, and then to throw electronic shifting on there, where the bike that I bought and my BMC with SRAM Red in 2012 cost $6,000. That same bike right now is $11,500.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, if I crash this in the middle of the season, I'm gonna go.
Cycling's all inclusive. No, it's not. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what are we chasing? So why do we have to be the test monkeys and pay the money for them to figure out
for technology?
Yeah. That's where I have a problem. So I soon pay the money for something I know that works, and then, hey, tap me on the shoulder and said, dude, now it works. Yeah. Then I'm willing to spend. I'd be willing, because if I spend 12 grand on a bike today, if the technology's not ready, then I've got a turd.
Your bike's going to last 2 years.
Yeah, 2-3 years, and it's like, that's not the same through axles. Nobody used that, or the inline brakes have been
Fuck, don't get me started on
I don't want to be
I
don't want to be on the leading edge of technology. I want to catch right when it just peaks.
Yeah.
So that's my beef.
I think my last question on this, because I know that we will always have a difference of opinions here, and that is completely acceptable in my opinion. I love it.
It makes good radio, guys. Yeah.
Exactly. So, what type of cell phone do we all own? That's a genuine question.
All iPhones.
Yeah.
Okay. When the first iPhone came out, I remember we all went, what the hell are they on to, right? What's going on? This is new stuff. Why would we... The old stuff works. Why would we need the new stuff? And we got it. We all got it. Well, now look where we are.
Your argument is incredibly flawed. It's almost as much as me and the chicken last night because I can buy a cell phone for $200-$300 back in the day, but now it's a cell phone isn't costing me 12 grand and I'm not stuck with it, and
it's $1,200 as opposed to,
and my cell phone still works. Is what I'm saying. I mean, and if I take my cell phone across the country, I could still make a call. If a call drops, I haven't wasted my entire weekend.
And I will.
Sorry, I'm just playing with your analogy here.
And with the same one, if you ask me, because I'm old, the best iPhone was my 4S. I don't take many pictures. I text and call.
Yeah.
All those apps, I have tons of apps on my phone.
You were the favorite old curmudgeon on the show, by the way. People send me emails about how much
that
they
thing
loved
worked. The only reason I got rid of it, I was hanging on to the home button in the middle. It just quit working. They said, well, and not only that, of course, the operation systems wouldn't be able to support it. So, and that's what my rim brake BMC is going to be like. And then I'll buy the 10, and then the 11's got 3 cameras.
Yeah.
And then the 12, well, the 11 didn't have 5G, and everything's 5G. When does it end? And that's the frustration.
Yeah. I just
that's
want a
lot
bike
of money.
that's going to last me 6 years.
Like the good old days.
Yeah. See? Jackson, you're just like, that's it, I'll fucking start my own podcast.
It's going to be called the Disc Brake Podcast.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot of people listening.
You can call it Disc Heads.
Yeah.
You guys, we're already an hour and 8 minutes into a podcast, so that throws out about 3 of my other news stories, including Tebow Pino. I guess we can get back to Tebow at another day.
Yeah. That's not going to go away.
Tebow's burning out, man. I'm worried about Tebow.
He likes his goats.
He does.
He's a goat farmer.
Yeah. So and I had a whole bunch of stuff about ketones and all this kind of stuff like that. There's stuff I don't understand that I tried to research today, but ironically enough, I was in a hospital.
Too fixated on the guy's gun.
On the guy with the gun in front of me. I'm like, oh man, the guy's gun.
That's a fair worry.
Yeah. So before I get to it, I got to say that the topic is brought to us by our friends at Gooder. You guys, new stuff constantly coming out from the folks at Gooder. You can, what was I going to say? From the folks at Gooder, even better because they're so damn affordable. You can get glasses for your mood, the conditions, and even for if you want to go full pro, that moment when you want to shed a pair. I've always wanted to just throw a pair of sunglasses off to somebody in a race. It just would be just like...
Now with the new UCI rules.
Oh, you can't throw them off. It's garbage.
Yeah.
Fucking UCI. It's taking all my fun.
Your cool's gone now.
Yeah, it is. But if they didn't know you only spent $35 on these glasses, you could just be like, here. Yeah. Great. Thanks, UCI. You've ruined my dream. And you've ruined my read for Gooder. Get to Gooder.com or hell, sign up as a member of Club Packfiller. Ding, ding. And get started on the addiction that makes you look better, save money, and feel good about yourself. Basically the opposite of meth.
Did you add that? Or was that theirs?
No, that was not read. Nothing that's theirs. I write this shit every week. So you think Gooder would want to be like, hey, compare us to meth?
They take it.
But before I even get to the fun part of the show, I do want to touch base on Professor Paul, and I do want to say the fact that that we dropped the ball on the posting of things this week, and I think what we need to do is, and this needs to become another membership perk, is that immediately needs to get posted right away or something like that, so people can catch up, because I posted something that wasn't necessarily what
I meant, but that was my
footage.
Mistake. I'll take the blame. I sent you the wrong link.
Oh, you motherfucker!
Yeah, it's all my fault.
No, I'm taking partial credit, because I think the audience and those of you watching the screen right now will understand, because you're going to hear this.
What the hell?
This is from the footage.
Yes.
Oh, that's right, from the greatest show on earth, Eddie Merckx.
I can't show much of it, or YouTube will shut me down. But there we go. That's
incorrect.
Paul,
but you can watch
had me at that. But anyway, talk to us about the footage we're supposed to have seen, and then talk to me about the footage we're going to see.
Okay, so the footage you were supposed to see, and I sent you the wrong link, and there's a series of, there was a movie. Okay, I'll backtrack. Let me digress.
Okay.
There was, we talked about Stars and Water Carriers. So this is a year or two, I think only a year after Stars and Water Carriers. Somebody followed it up. The production is not as good, but there's some interesting.
And that music.
Yeah, it's cheesy as can be.
Oh, it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah,
I loved it.
Yeah. So anyway, if you get to watch it, it's not a full production. Somebody, whoever posted it, has it like in 8 segments or something.
Oh.
So the one that I wanted you to see, and that you will probably repost, is the one towards the end of it's like the second to last stage of the Giro. And my title to this, 76, I think is the last year. Merckx ends up winning his 5th Giro. Maybe 75, because it wasn't 76.
Okay.
74, 75, but these things are strong. So otherwise I would know. So anyway, there's one guy that the whole time just wanted to beat Merckx, and it's Manuel Fuentes.
Oh, okay.
Emmanuel Fuentes. And so anyway, you saw him in the previous ones that with Stars and Water Carriers. Yeah, and So he actually starts off with being in the pink jersey, and there was a stage in there in the next following one where he has like a 7-minute lead on Merckx. No, he has not 7 minutes. He had like 2 or 3 minutes in the time trial. It picks up where the time trial is, and he loses all that time on the time trial. So Merckx ends up, what happens is Fuentes is cocky enough that at the last feed he says, I don't need a feed. And this is before radios. Somebody picked up and told Merckx, hey, Fuentes didn't grab a feed.
Yeah.
Merckx ordered his men to the front, and they hammered it, and Fuentes came unglued. He just bonked beyond belief and lost 9 minutes, ended up 7 minutes behind. But giving him credit, he ends up going and on the second to last stage, which has got some really big climbs, which Merckx is a good 20 pounds heavier than this guy, this Spanish climber.
Shit.
So, Merckx even says it's hard to make up time, when you hit the hills. So anyway, there's the part to focus on is what Fuentes says. There's a translator as he's climbing up the hill about, being what he went through when he lost. And then he talks a few things about, about the media and their take on what happened to him. And then he also talks. It's pretty good. So my title on this is, more things change the more they stay the same. Because you'll start seeing, even outside of that, the way people react. The people, they're just crazy. The Tifosi on the side of the road are insane. They're 99% men. which is not,
Yeah.
you don't see it anymore, but they're drunken Italian guys, been sucking down a wine the whole time. They're pushing guys. Guys are fighting because they're pushing guys. I mean, it's just crazy. And we think it's bad now.
Yeah.
It was bad then. So, anyway, that's that one.
That's the past one.
That's the past one. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the greatest show on earth, and all.
Should we stick with that one for this week? Should we?
Yeah, let's do that.
reassign
Yeah, let's
one and
reassign
just
that.
Stick with that.
Yep.
Okay, so that's our assignment. You've all been given a week, a free week out there, everybody. You got.
So read 80 pages, Jackson.
Yeah.
And then
And
before
watch.
your next 80 pages you have to read, watch it.
Yeah, there we go.
How's
Where
that?
are we going? Yeah.
So you guys, now that we're hour 15 in, there are some one of my favorite topics. I'm going to hold off to next week, and it breaks my heart because we have to end the show with having fun.
Mm-hmm.
We have to end the show with simplicity and some childish humor. So, and the childish humor is, of course, brought to us by our friends at Mojo Cyclery.
Yay.
Whose sweatshirt I'm wearing right now. You might have seen me in the last, the first, I think, Coffee and Comments. I wore this one on it, and it's cool. It's got it on the hood. I don't wear my hood up though, so I don't look very hip. Nothing about me is hip.
You're not gangsta.
No. So we're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna end the episode with Would You Rather, because we're not gonna make it competitive. We're just gonna speed round of Would You Rather. Okay, gentlemen, are you prepared?
Yep.
I have how many do I have? I have 11, and we'll go fast. Okay, gentlemen, starting with Paul. Number 1, would you give up beer or give up clipless pedals?
Wow. Yeah, that's easy, actually. That's quite a big,
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I'm not fucking around.
I would give up clipless pedals.
Give up clipless pedals. Paul would ride with no clips.
Yep.
Jackson, I know what you're going to say, but I'm trying to find another. Okay, soda or clipless pedals.
Soda.
Yeah, it changed
I
perspective.
could do it.
Didn't it? You could what?
I could do it.
You give up soda?
Yeah.
You give up sugary sodas.
He's never rode with clips.
He hasn't. He has no idea what that pain on the top of your foot is about to
And your toes going to sleep.
World of hurt you're about to enter.
Yeah.
I would do clipless pedals too. Paul Main, would you stop shaving your legs, or in exchange to be able to shave your legs, shave your head?
I'd shave my head.
You shave your head?
Yeah.
Jackson Bulger, would you shave your head or be able to still shave your legs? No, shave your head and legs, or not shave your legs?
This is a conversation I've had recently, but I was
What?
I was saying, like, if I lost my hair, like, I think grow a great big bushy beard,
Okay.
and then just do it, just full on commit. I'd do it both.
So you'd be totally smooth. All right. I would too. Paul Main, would you wear day glow or a third eye? You had to wear one.
I'm thinking of our friend.
Oh no! Pat's making fun of cyclists. He should be canceled. Fuck you, Bulger.
Well, that's kind of tough because
I wear a third eye and I'm offended.
it's kind of tough
Sorry,
because our
I-
current kit is borderline. There's some little bit, maybe.
The
So I don't want to diss
light
that,
green is.
but I
almost
also
Hago.
want to honor one of our faithful listeners, Justin Short.
Oh,
and
Justin,
I'll probably wear one in his honor, but I would wear it on the wrong side. Instead of on the left side, I'd have it so I'm looking.
Oh,
in
so the
ditch.
third eye you'd wear it so, you could
So it doesn't
see what
really
you saw.
work. Yeah.
Okay. Jackson, third eye or day glow?
I think day glow, because you can make day glow cool.
Like the kid of shame?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably day glow it up too. Race shirtless or wear a jersey and a Speedo?
Shirtless, and I pity anybody who has to look at this 58-year-old body.
Jackson, shirtless or jersey and Speedo?
I'd probably ride shirtless as well. I don't know if a lot of people are keen to see that.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I think I'd just wear the bib shorts and call it good. Be a domestique for a sprinter or a climber?
Sprinter.
Jackson?
Climber.
I'd sprinter. Be a domestique on a top world team, like the best world team in the world, or a leader on a domestic team.
Domestique on a world tour.
That'd
be awesome. That'd be my dream.
Jackson?
That's a tough one. I might be a leader on a local, or not a local, but a
smaller
continental team, because then you can get picked up.
But no, I never said you could.
See, I'm making my.
Yeah, you're thinking of the technology 10 years down the road because you're going to still be alive. You're going to be like, disc brakes are going to rock.
And no derailleurs.
I'll be dead. I can change
in 10 years.
I can change gears with my brain. Yeah, might be. Yeah, exactly. So
I'm that old.
So you're the leader of a domestic team.
What the hell?
All right. I'd like to be a lead out guy for a top world tour team. Would you rather ride a fat bike on the road for a year or road bike in the sand for a year?
I'd do the road bike in the sand. That'd be fun.
Oh wow!
For a
full year.
Yeah, your legs would be massive.
Yeah, you'd be catching.
And your bike handling skills. Jesus.
It's like, fuck you, Vanderpool.
Yeah.
Jackson?
They're both kind of the same ride experience, so I'd probably just ride a fat bike on the road.
Okay. I'd probably do fat bike on the road, I have to admit. Would you rather have a beer with Eddie Merckx or Chris Froome?
Oh, jeez. Come on. That's not even a question. It's Merckx.
Jackson?
I'd probably pick Chris Froome because he's more my generation.
I don't know. I think Chris Froome would be a funnier beer.
I don't know.
Eddie Merckx seems so serious.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. He knows all the Belgian beers, the best beers in the world.
Great point. Great point.
Chris Froome hasn't drank a beer in 16 years, for Christ's sake.
I can get him hammered and be funny.
Give us some, hey, try the cider.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, Jake, we're just coming at you with both barrels today.
No doubt.
Would you rather wear your helmet backwards or your shoes on the wrong feet for 100 miles straight?
Just for giggles, I'd put my shoes on the wrong feet. That's
for 100
great.
miles?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. My current shoes right now, they're so painful that they're probably on the wrong foot.
Cycling shoe manufacturers, Paul's up for an endorsement. Jackson Bolger, would you helmet backwards or shoes on the wrong feet for 100 miles?
I don't think I want to ruin my knees for the rest of my life, so I'll probably go for the helmet.
You're going helmet backwards? I'd probably wear my helmet backwards too. Paul's just like, fuck it. I'm broken.
Yeah, that's right.
Last two. Would you rather be, this is another 100 miles, would you rather be forced to eat a greasy cheeseburger and fries every 10 miles of a 100-mile ride, or drink a bidon of tomato juice every 10 miles for 100 miles?
Wow. It's the results at the end.
By the way, all this
tomato juice.
This shit came up to me in a fucking hospital waiting room.
Staring at a guy with a gun on.
Yeah, I was like, blood.
Yeah. So, tomato juice sounds more appealing, but mile 50.
Yeah.
I mean, my chamois would be just like oozing out. So, I'm just saying. It's true.
So which did you pick? You're going burger and fries?
I'd rather just shit myself and drink. I like tomatoes.
You do? So
yeah.
you use tomato juice?
Yeah.
Okay. Jackson?
Like 8 ounce, 10 ounce? How much do I have?
A bidon. A full,
fucking hell.
like 16, 18 ounce.
Well, I think I'm going to get the same results with a cheeseburger. So,
So no matter what, you're shitting yourself.
I'm shitting myself.
So you're tomato juice. Jackson, tomato juice or hamburger and fries?
I think for people that ride with me, they know that I have to ride eat every single hour on the dot.
He does.
So this is just like speeding that up a little bit. So I'd do the cheeseburger.
I would do the cheeseburger and fries too, because at least I could puke. The cheeseburger fries.
Are you Roman?
To the vomitorium. I could do that just because I can't stand tomato juice. I hate it with the passion of 1,000 suns. I hate it. So I would do the burger and fries. So okay, last one. Would you rather crash over the bars or a butt slide?
Butt slide, easy.
Really?
Over the bars, you've got broken collarbones, shoulders. It's bad.
I didn't say what terrain.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
You go over the top of the bars, it's bad.
Okay.
Always
Jackson?
bad news.
I think I'd rather butt slide.
Yeah.
I'd rather butt slide. Yeah.
My over the bars crashes have never been that bad. Maybe I'm thankful for the fact that I haven't had a horrible over. You got a bad collarbone?
Oh yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was over the top of the bars. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
Okay. Fine. Okay. There we have our. God, you guys! I had so much more to get through. There's so much more. I want to talk about alternative racing, and I guess I'm going to hold that off till our next show.
Yeah.
It's killing me. So that does it for another episode of the Packfiller. Starting next week, you guys, we're going to be giving away prizes to Club Packfiller members. I know I have to keep saying that because that's my job. To win, you have to be a member, and you have to respond within 2 days of the release of the show. So on Tuesdays is when we record this. If you're live with us, hi. If you're not live with us, we recorded it on Tuesday, so that gives you until, what would we say, Thursday at midnight to respond.
Mm-hmm.
If we drew your name for that prize, and it can be anything from, a sticker pack to a new car. You never know. So that's
new
something.
car?
Hey.
Way to bait them.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. So be sure and stay on with us. So join, like, subscribe, tell a friend, and be sure to check out Coffee and Comments on Sundays. Jackson, am I going to put you on the hook
Yes.
for Sunday? You're going to do it. You're going to do it this Sunday.
For the listeners, you'll see a different part of this exact corner. So
it won't be my bedhead this Sunday.
Are you going to drink coffee?
Has to.
Well,
It's
there's a
Coffee
bear
and
shit in the
Comments.
woods. Of course I'm gonna.
All right. It's going to be a mocha.
It's. Oh, you know how many coffee people are talking to me already? Who want in? Yeah, I'm telling you.
Awesome.
It's the pre and the post, man. I'm telling you. It's the
Yeah.
before and the after of cycling that makes it so delicious.
Yep.
So if you disagree with us on the disc brakes thing, fuck you. But talk to us. If you agree with us on the disc brake things, talk to us. Check out packfiller.com, become a member of the Packfiller, and that is the last time for this episode that I'm going to whore myself out for that one. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Pat.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you very much.
And if Carson's listening this far, I just want to throw this in. Fuck off, Carson. Love Carson. Love that buddy. But sometimes he listens and he's just like, wait, what?
He's probably cooking going, bang, bang, bang.
Flying from the pants. Yeah, you're right. Catch you guys next week. Take care. That's off. That's almost off. God, there's so many fucking buttons to push. And